What if the self, the you wake up with, talk to, defend, and identify as, isn't real? What if it's not solid, not permanent, not even singular? What if the self is just an illusion? It sounds unsettling at first. We like to think of ourselves as stable, a core identity, a fixed eye behind the eyes, watching it all unfold. But what if you looked closer and found that there's no single thread, only stories stitched together by memory and emotion? Not a self, but a narrative. Not a being, but a becoming. Across centuries, philosophers and mystics have asked this question. Buddhist traditions speak of anatta, no self, that what we call a self is just a bundle of sensations, thoughts, and habits held together by attachment. David Hume said, "When I look inside myself, I find no self, only a bundle of perceptions in constant flux." Even neuroscience now suggests the same, that there's no central you in the brain, just systems, firing, patterns, motion, and yet you feel like someone. So what is that feeling? Maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's a way to make the chaos coherent. Maybe the self is just the mind's attempt to form continuity in a world where everything is changing, including you. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago, or last year, or yesterday. Your thoughts change, your opinions shift, your body renews its cells, your memories fade and reshape themselves. And still, we say, I am. I'm like this. I would never. I always. But who is I? Is it the one who felt afraid at 10? The one who failed at 20? The one who overcame at 30? Or is it the voice that tells the story, rewriting, refining, reframing, so that you feel whole? Maybe the self is not false, but fluid. Not an object to find, but a mirror that shifts shape with each reflection. And maybe the danger lies not in having a sense of self, but in mistaking it for truth. Because the more rigid the self becomes, the more we suffer when it breaks. You say, I'm not the kind of person who does that. But then, you do. You say, I'm always the strong one. Until life humbles you. You say, I know who I am. But knowing is not the same as being. When we cling to the self as fixed, we resist the truth of transformation. We hold on to roles we've outgrown. We defend traits that limit us. We stay inside a story just because we've told it too many times. But what if there's freedom in loosening your grip? What if you could let go of the need to define yourself and simply experience? No labels, no masks, no inner monologue saying who you are and what you're worth. Just awareness, just presence, just breathe. Who would you be if you stopped being anyone at all? Not a blank slate, but an open one, able to shift, to soften, to surprise yourself. Maybe that's not emptiness. Maybe that's space. Space for something more honest to emerge, something realer than identity, something beyond personality, a sense of self that doesn't need to be proven because it's not trying to be anything. Imagine sitting in silence and letting go of every descriptor. Not spiritual, not broken, not a thinker, not even a name. Just being. What's left? What remains when there's nothing left to protect? That space, that stillness, is not a void. It's where your truest self begins to whisper. So maybe the self is an illusion, but not in a dismissive way. More like a dream we're invited to wake up from without needing to hate the dream. The self isn't a mistake. It's just not the full story. It's a tool, a map, a mask worn by awareness so it can learn, evolve, connect, and feel. But eventually, the mask gets heavy, and we begin to wonder, who was underneath it all along? Here's a quiet truth. You are not the roles you've played. You are not the labels they gave you. You are not the thoughts you think or the stories you repeat. You are the awareness that watches all of it. You are the witness to the illusion. And in that awareness, there's space, there's stillness, there's freedom. Not to be anyone, but to become whatever arises in this moment. So what if the self is just an illusion? Then maybe that illusion, once seen clearly, can become a window, not to what you're supposed to be, but to what you already are. Here, now unlabeled, unfinished, unbound.